Hi all, it's Neo Rambler here with a bit of a random rambly video. That's because I've had a few drinks before I've done this. The reason why is because I've been putting off doing this horrible piece of work I've got to do for my superiors at work. I really don't want to do it, and I just haven't been able to get into the mindscape of doing it because it's so boring and hard and tedious and yada 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 yada. I will do it tomorrow, so don't worry, I will get it done. But anyway, while I've been procrastinating, and not only that, but drinking as well, I accidentally stumbled across a game that I've been playing actually not too long ago, but I did stop playing it before I finished it, which is a bit of a shame because I really do want to finish it. And the only reason why I want to talk about it is because I really thoroughly recommend, if you haven't played this game already or know anything about it, you really need to go and play it at whatever age. In fact, the younger the better. Despite the fact that this game is rated 17 plus, although this game, the game that I've got here is the American copy of it. So what that means is it's rated mature, which is 17 plus. I'm not sure what it is in the UK. Possibly 18, maybe 15. But for those of you who are younger than that age, I actually thoroughly recommend you play it. I think an appropriate age to play it would be from 12 to 13 onwards. If you're older than that, by all means play it anyway, it's still great. But if you're younger, I think you need to play it because I think this is one of those games where actually not just is a good game to play, but it also teaches you a few life lessons. And that game is Persona 4. I've got the PS Vita copy, but it originally came out on the PS2. I don't know if there was a remake for it available for PS3 or not. I'm not 100% sure. And there are some spin off games with Persona 4 in the title, but you want the original one. You want Persona 4. And what it is it's a Japanese role playing game, which may turn off some of you, but honestly, don't let that go away. If you're not a Japanese RPG fan, that's absolutely fine. I'm not saying that you need to be to play this game. That's the beauty of it. You really don't. Um, but it's a Japanese role-playing game, and it's about a young male student. I'm not sure if you can actually choose whether you can be a female or not. Actually, I'm not 100% sure. You might be able to, but don't quote me on that. But it's about a young student who has to move temporarily to another part of Japan. It's based in Japan, this game, and you have to move to another part of Japan in with your uncle. You have to move in with your uncle and his daughter, which is your cousin, because your parents have had to go away for a year to do this business thing, but they can't look after you. So you've had to move to live with your uncle in a different part of Japan, and also as a result, you've had to move schools. You have to go to another school for a year, and because you're only a young age, you're a teenager age. I think you're like 15, 16 in the game. I think maybe 14, something about that. You're in high school basically, or the equivalent of high school. And oh, excuse me. Whatever you do, do not drink Budweiser before you do a video. But anyway, if you're going to learn something from this video, it's that. But anyway, this game is brilliant. You play as this young lad, you move to Japan, this different part of Japan, and you basically spent the entire academic year in a different high school. That's all you do. You basically, as this character that you can name and pick, you can't customize too much, but you can name. In fact, I don't think you can customize them at all. Actually, thinking about it, all you can do is give them a name. Um, but you play as this character who's moved with his uncle to this different part of Japan and has had to move to a different school and a different town and all that stuff. You basically play the game as this young lad or lass, maybe, um, through an academic year at the school, and basically live life. That's effectively it. You just basically live the life for 1 year for this lad or lass at this different school, and that's about it. But there's obviously a bit more to it than that. You have got this side where you have to manage your time at school, manage your time meeting new friends, manage your time spending time with your friends. You know, you have to decide who to hang with, who to spend time with, who to develop friendships and relationships with, and also go into town and spend time with the people in the town, getting to know them better, doing them favors, and even getting a part-time job if you really want to. It's not 100% realistic or anything, but it's got some realism in it. I don't know much about Japanese culture, but from what I can gather, it's kind of like the typical life of a high school student in Japan. It's really interesting. Again, I don't know if it's completely real, but you do a lot. And also study for your schoolwork. You have to study for your exams and all kinds of other MacGuffin. And even know a bit of facts as well. You have to know a bit of high school education as well, because you get constantly challenged about your high school education while you're at school. You're in classes and you get asked questions about the subjects that the kid or your character is currently in a lesson at or what have you. So it's good. As well as maintaining relationships with your uncle and your cousin and all that MacGuffin. So you have to do that, and that's really good fun. But the main story arc of the game is that there's this weird thing happening in the town that you're living in. There's this weird phenomenon happening where this weird fog turns up every now and again in this town. So some days of the year, the town is completely and utterly covered in this fog, and when on the days that the fog happens, where all this fog occurs, this strange thing happens where a particular person or school person at this high school that you're at is suddenly at midnight on TV. They're suddenly on TV on this strange channel. You have to turn your TV to a random channel. It's called the Midnight Channel, but the kids call it that. I don't know what the proper name is for it, but basically at midnight there's this channel that you can turn to on television, and only on foggy nights, or just before foggy nights, I think. It's when the fog's about to arrive or has arrived. And what happens is on this TV channel you see some random kid on there that you know from school, and they're basically doing very, very, very weird things, and they're also in this really weird place. It looks like the set of either a TV program, like a game show or a soap opera or something like that, and they do really bizarre things. And what's been happening is if somebody gets found or seen on this TV channel, they've been abducted by someone. And when the fog hits the town, if they haven't been found by then, they're murdered in really horrible ways. And the idea is that every time this fog's about to turn up, or starts getting foggy, somebody gets abducted, and it's usually a school person, but it can be an adult as well. And they get found on this channel at midnight. And the idea of the game is that there's this alternative world. This TV channel that they appear on is actually another world that they're in. They've been abducted and put into this other world, and the TV channel is a window into this world. And basically what you have to do with your main character and your friends is you find out about this world, you go into this world, you find out about it, and you basically have to go into this world and save them. You have to find them and save them before they get killed. And that's pretty much the whole game. And there's also a mystery behind it. Who's abducting the people? Why does this world exist? Why is it that this fog is happening in this town at certain days of the year? Why do we have this strange fog? And who's behind the abductions and all that MacGuffin? So it's like a bit of a murder mystery type thing. But when you go into this alternative world, this TV world, so to speak, that's where the RPG gameplay elements comes in. In the real world, you just do real world stuff. You interact with people, you do things, you study at school, blah 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 blah. There's no real gameplay elements to it other than just interacting with characters and picking dialogue options, and developing relationships with people, and or doing well at school, and or doing part-time jobs, whatever you want to do. Basically, it's very cool. But in this TV world where you go in to try and save these people who've been abducted, that's the role-playing game elements. You get magical powers, you get these monsters that you can use to fight other monsters, and that's where the RPG element comes in. It's really simple. I'm not really a role-playing gaming fan. When I was younger, I did play the Final Fantasy games. Of course, I played Final Fantasy VIII, which in hindsight was not a very good RPG game. In terms of the fact that the story is a bit ludicrous, and the mechanics behind that game series, or at least Final Fantasy VIII, was quite convoluted. I still don't fully understand it now. It wasn't very traditional. It was trying to break the mold. It was trying to be different, but it was too complicated for me. But I did like the graphics. I did like the music, and the battles were fun. I liked exploring the lands and fighting monsters and stuff. I played that, and then the only other mainstream Japanese role-playing game I played was Final Fantasy X and X-2. And me and my brother used to play it. My brother actually got 10, and I played it with him, my younger brother. And then I got 10 too, and we played that together. And again, Final Fantasy X and X-2, if you're a Japanese role-playing game fan, it's not one of the best examples of the Japanese role-playing game genre. It really isn't. I'm not turning around saying that Final Fantasy X or X-2 is amazing. They really aren't. But I enjoyed them anyway. I liked them when I was a kid because I didn't know any better. And even now, despite what I do know about the game and you know, how bad it is and all that, I still have fond memories with me and my brother playing the game. I can't hate it. I still love it. It has good memories, and I enjoyed it, and I still do. And my favourite one was 10-2, by the way, weirdly enough. So in terms of my Japanese role-playing game expertise, I'm beyond novice. I'm like, "Huh?" But anyway, that's beside the point. But all I'm trying to say is from that is I've had very limited experience with Japanese role-playing games. I do like them, but I'm not. I don't know enough about them. But even if you're an expert at Japanese role-playing games, or you're not an expert at it, or you like them, or you don't like them, you need to put that aside and you need to play Persona 4 if you haven't already. If you have played it, hopefully you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't played it, you really do need to play it, because not only is this game a good Japanese role-playing game, and not only that, it's quite simple. It's not that complicated. It can be complicated if you want it to be, but I didn't. I just got by with the basic mechanics, and I did really well. And that's all you really need to do to complete the game. If you want to go further than that, you can, but that's up to you. But as a Japanese role-playing game, it's relatively basic. It's easy to pick up, and it's actually really fun as well. It's a good, fun, simple game to play. Um, but aside from that, if you can just think to yourself, all right, I'll give it a chance despite the role-playing game elements, the story, the characters, the presentation, the graphics, the music, the the engagement you will get from this game is astounding. It really touches you in so many different places, in an emotional sense, not in a sort of like a pervy sense. Although it does have its pervy moments, I must add. It is Japanese, I will admit. So there are some moments in it where you think, "Oh, hello, is that normal? Oh, is that legal?" There are some moments where you think, "Oh, it's a bit taboo." So if you are underage, if you are under 17 or 18 years old, by all means, please seek permission from your parents to play the game. There are some moments in it where you may be thinking, "Oh, hello, this is quite funny or rude or whatever," but it is a bit taboo and a bit weird. But not very many, but there are some. But it's because it's the Japanese culture. The Japanese culture is very different. I mean, I'm from the UK, by the way, so Japanese culture is very different from the UK culture. So in Japan, this is more acceptable, whereas over here, it might seem a bit. But as long as you know about that, then don't take it seriously. Just get by it, and it doesn't last very long. Just get through it, and even though it's quite quirky and funny, but just don't take it seriously. Whatever you do, don't think you're allowed to get away with that sort of stuff, or think, "Oh, that scares me." If it does, just go and tell your parents or your guardians, and just explain. They'll be fine. So it can be a bit mature and a bit risque. But other than that, the reason why I like this game so much, and I think you guys really should play it if you haven't already, is because it just tells a wonderful story. A wonderful story in a really stylistic way where you just resonate with it. You just go with it. It does everything. It's relaxing, it's soothing, but it's quite tense, it's quite dramatic, it's adventurous, it's quite calming. It's very thought-provoking, but it's also very simple, and it does everything. It's quite a complex game in terms of the story and how you would engage with it, but not in a scary way, not in a way where you have to be an intellectual to do it, or an academic, or superbly good at Japanese role-playing games, or even good at video games in general. What's the beauty behind this game is it teaches you some very important life lessons. The younger you play this game, and therefore the younger you learn these life lessons, I guarantee you the better your life will be. You will learn so much through this game, it's unbelievable in terms of life lessons. And they're not horrible life lessons either. They're not life lessons, well, some of them can be a bit harsh, but most of them, but even then, it's better to experience it through this game where they're not real. But a lot of the life lessons aren't harsh at all. They're very, very nice, very soothing, very lovely, very, deep moments in life where it does actually address some doubts that you may have had when you were younger, or if you are young, you currently have now. And it addresses it in a very mature, a very sensible, but not only that, a very realistic way, where the solutions behind the problems that come out from this game as you play it, you can find in real life, and you can use what you've learned from this game in real life, and it will enhance your life in so many ways possible. It's unbelievable. And considering the profession that I'm going to go into, I stand by that. I really do. So I won't say any more than that. I think I'm going to leave it at this point because I don't want to ruin the story. I've given you the basic bare essentials of the story, but there is so much more to it than that. I have not ruined anything. It goes deeper than that. But that's basically what I told you earlier about the story. That's all you need to know. But I haven't ruined or told you anything. It's just amazing. Um, but even if you're not interested in learning life lessons, even if you're not interested in, gaining deeper knowledge about how life works and how people work or anything, as a game on its own, just as a game and as an experience, it's still good. You can approach this game from so many different ways and you will get something out of it and you'll get something good out of it. I honestly believe it's one of those games where it can be universally played and universally enjoyed. It is so good. It really is. And no, I know I said earlier that I've had some beers, but just even without those, if I was sober, it's only because I just discovered it in my drawers. I was just going through my drawers and I just picked it up and went, "Oh, that's where my game went." And I looked at it and I immediately, because I've nearly finished it, I haven't finished it yet. I got to the very last bit of the game. I know how it ends anyway. You just had to do the final battle, and that was it. But boy, what a ride! I was addicted to this game. I spent probably about. You won't spend hundreds of hours on it. I think the most. I think I spent about 40 hours altogether on this, and even then, I was trying to do the perfect run. I was trying to get all the good stuff, and I didn't. I think if you just want to get by on it, like you just want to complete the game and just do it for the story, it'll take you about 20 to 30 hours tops. You might even do it quicker than that. It is quite a long game, but it won't feel like it's long. It's really well paced, and you when it starts to end, when it starts to come to a close, you'll feel really sad. You think, I don't want it to end. I want it to carry on, but at the same time, you want it to end because you want to well, you want it to end. But I'm not going to give you any more reasons than that. By the time you've reached that point of the game, you want it to end anyway. But at the same time, you feel really sad about it. Um, but no, this is a good game, and I've got the PS Vita version. The PS Vita version is good because it comes with extended content. There's extra stuff. There's a larger story, some new characters, some new story events, some new places for you to explore when you're doing the role-playing game elements, when you're in the TV world, and a few other things. But if you just get the PS2 version, um, it's still, you're not missing out on a loss. The extra stuff on the Vita version is just, it's not essential to enjoy the game. You don't need it to get the full experience of the game. It's just, I've only played the PS Vita version, but I know that the extra stuff that's in it is not, if you only got the PS2 version, it doesn't matter. You'll still get exactly the same experience. You really will. It's brilliant. But I think it's also available on the PlayStation Network as well, so you can download this from the PlayStation Network. I don't know how much it costs, but I don't think it's that expensive. So if you don't have a PS Vita but you've got a PlayStation, I think you can even download it onto your computer as well. Again, I wouldn't know, but it's not difficult to access this game. This game is easily accessible. You can find a copy of it really cheap. I mean, my copy only costs under a tenner, um, but you can find it probably about that price. It wouldn't cost you much, but it's just something to bear in mind. So if you're looking for a game that you spend a few hours on, but you're looking for something that's a bit different, and you're looking for something that you want to engage with, you want to spend time with the world and the characters and the game itself, you want to engage in the world, something like Skyrim or whatever, get Persona 4 and play it, and you will take so much out of it. It's unbelievable. You will leave this game thinking, I know what I need to do now. I know what I need to do in life. I know what I need to do, or I want to do what they do in this type thing. Not the role-playing game elements, but the life elements. You will feel so much better and so much. That's the beauty of this game. I think to close off on this, you will feel satisfied, not just from playing a good game, but you'll feel, from your soul and from your heart and your brain, or mind, I should say, you will feel satisfied playing this game. After playing it, you will feel that you just had an adventure, and an adventure you won't want to forget. It is, I believe, one of the peaks of virtual entertainment, and it's beautiful. One of my favourite games of all time, and I've only just played it. I mean, I'm 25 now. I played it just over a year ago. So I was 24 when I played this for the first time. I hadn't played it when I was younger. I played this when I was 24. And I don't regret it. It's a beautiful game. Anyway, I'm going to go and make another Half-Life video, and then we'll get back to normal. But anyway, thank you very much for listening to this if you have. Sorry that it took 20 minutes. I was only trying to make it 10 minutes, but oh well. That's what happens when you've had too much drink. And I hope to see you in another video. So take it easy, guys. Have a good one. Hope you're all well. And again, thank you very much for all the likes, dislikes, the comments that you've been leaving. It's fantastic. And I love receiving comments. I love replying to them when I can. I do apologise that some of the comments do end up as spam, but I do go through the comments and the spam filters. And if they do turn up as spam, I approve them and tick them. I can't control the spam filter, sadly. I really can't. It won't let me turn it off. I have to have it on. But I do on a regular basis, about 2 or 3 times a day. Although when I go back to work after my holiday, I can only do it once a day. If there's any comments that go through as spam, I will approve it. Whatever it is, I'll approve it. So don't worry. If any of your comments are coming across as spam, don't worry. I'm working hard as I can to get them approved and get them seen. All right. So don't worry. You will be seen and you will be heard. So yeah. Anyway, but other than that, thank you very much, guys. You're absolutely wonderful. And thank you so much for all the praise as well that you've been giving me. It's been wonderful. It really has. I know. I wish I could sound a bit more convincing, but that's only because of the mood I'm in at the moment. But other than that, it's been great. So thanks, guys. I hope to keep this up. I hope you guys are going to hang around for a bit longer. Take it easy. Have a good one. I hope to see you in the next vid.